Hey guys, welcome back to Stuff and Things. This is BB and I'm here with
Juicy J.
And today we're going to be discussing the expectations that men have of women. It's such a lovely topic. Juicy J has her coffee in her hand and I'm currently holding a White Claw. So
Spicy, huh?
Right, spice. So I do just want to say, right before we start, is we're in no way trying to bash all men. It just seems like that most men that we seem to encounter give off certain vibes that are just not good.
Well,
they're just not good at all.
I feel like it also, this same scale applies to women as well.
Right.
But it's just, like I was saying at other times, that it's only been like the last 12 to 15 years that women have started to level up their physical expectations of men. Because it used to be more acceptable for men to have the expectation of, well, it's okay if I let myself go. I can look a certain type of way, but my woman, she better be in shape. She better look good. Hair, nails, makeup, body looks nice, all that stuff. It's been like that for a while. For a while. I know in history, there were certain periods of time where men were expected to hold a certain physique, especially like during the Greek, time. Men were during that time, men were actually expected to look more physically fit. And the women, they wanted them to be a little bit more shapely. I wouldn't say plump, but more shapely because, got to have the good fat on your body to have children. That was what was beautiful. That's why they have all those statues, So, that's just where we're leaning in today.
Yep. I think one of the things that I absolutely hate is when I start seeing, especially on TikTok, I start seeing these women that do have more fuller bodies, like they have love handles, they have a little bit more stomach on them, and they are drop dead gorgeous. And men in the comments want to get up under there saying, you need to go to the gym, you need to lose weight, you need to do this, you need to do that. And then there's some men that are actually getting up under those comment sections saying they would have built statues of you back in ancient times.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And I absolutely love that, but just the audacity that men have, and then I'll start going to their profile pictures and
look like Danny DeVito.
They start looking like Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh God, which one's worse?
Right.
I don't know.
The audacity of it just really pisses me off.
Yeah, that's where I've talked about this before with other people. I feel like there's a scale, like a level scale. Of course, everyone has their own natural preferences. There might be some big guys that like little girls, and there might be some little girls that like big guys, and we all fall into these categories where, we've got our own specific likes and dislikes. But there is an inherent problem when a majority of a gender is expecting one specific, more or less one specific type, while they themselves are very a big variety within their own body shapes. I don't agree with that. That's why I think there's like physical levels. Now, when you fall in love with someone, all that stuff kind of goes out the door, and as it should. Yeah. But if you're just in the dating game where it's just like, hey, this is what, hit it and quit it type of stuff, and you've got these levels, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've got this expectation my girl better look like Britney Spears or, in her prime, and Beyonce, have all that kind of stuff. Body looking great, extra. And then you over here, looking like the penguin. No, sir. You better check the mirror and check it twice, because that is not, you can't do that. To me, there needs to be a certain level there. Like, realistically, as a woman, I have that too. And I'm sure you do too. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
I have never been so vain or narcissistic that I'm like, oh, my guy better look like Wesley Snipes from Blade, or, he better look like Vin Diesel or Jason Momoa, have all that going on. And then over here I am looking like a 7 on my best day, and I've got just a regular body, or even like after I've had kids, you got the little bit of pooch that won't go away. How can you do that? How can you, as a woman, be like, that's what I want, that's what I'm going to get? And what are you doing? If they're going to look at it from a physical perspective too, outside of preferences, then you need to look just as good as they do. But it's like, it's so warped that men have been, I guess, lied to by media for so long.
Like you said, more women have been stepping up, and they've basically been having the same characteristics and mindset as men.
Being vain.
And it makes me wonder, are they doing it to prove a point to men, or are they doing it because they're actually in their head thinking they deserve someone that looks like Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah.
When in reality they should be settling for someone like Napoleon Dynamite.
And they look like Amy Schumer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, I feel like half of them are probably doing it because they actually are vain and they actually really do think that. But I really do think there's an older majority of women, probably in their mid-30s and up, where I think they've just come to realize, hey, if you're not going to look good, you better not be expecting me to look like that. And everybody, all the women you come into contact with in regular life, in real life, do not look like they just stepped out of Pornhub.
Yep.
Get your head out of that trash. That's what it is. It's pollution. Because that is not reality at all. Never will be. And the more you destroy your mindset with that crap, I really do believe that's some of the blame for why men feel like they're in a deserving attitude of, I deserve this, or I want this, or I'm attracted to this. Well, that's what they grew up seeing so much of. And it don't help when you got old, nasty men like Hugh Hefner with young women on their hanging off their arms. That don't help that anymore. And then there's another side to that, which I'm really going to touch on too much, but that's the counterbalance. If you're an old, wore-out, leathery-looking old man, and you got millions of that, well, guess what? Women like to spin, and they can turn that crap off in their head and say, you know what? I like beautiful cars and nails and hair to the point where sleeping with old leather bag don't bother me. It just don't bother me. Okay, women can do that. I don't know about dudes. I know women can.
So, I seen this quote the other day. Surprise, surprise, it was on Facebook. But there was this quote that said that if people start limiting themselves to what they want in a relationship, where they're very strict, basically. So, if you're a man and you want the short blonde that has double D's or whatever, or the BBL and all that, if you focus more so on the outside than the inside, you're basically limiting yourself to what maybe God has in store for you.
Absolutely. Same with women too.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be like that. Like, oh, I only date 6 foot tall guys.
Right.
Like, but that all the 6 foot tall guys might end up cheating on you and treat you like trash. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then here's this 5'3" guy, and he looks absolutely gorgeous to you, and he treats you like a queen. Yeah. Why are you limiting yourself? Why would you do that? That's just a physical thing that in the end it's not going to matter, because we're all going to get old and we're all going to get saggy and ugly. And I'm sorry, that's just the sad reality of living in a meat suit.
Real love is not supposed to fade away, but looks always can.
That's right.
Looks
exactly.
Always can. Another expectation that I've seen a little bit more so, and again on TikTok, is men
get off TikTok
and women, right? But men and women both. But I see it in the majority of men. They're wanting expectations of what their woman will do for them, but they're not willing to do the same for their woman in return. So how can you expect your woman to want to cook in the kitchen for you, cook homemade meals, but yet your woman has to tell you multiple times throughout the day, hey, why don't you take trash out? Hey, why don't you mow the fucking yard? Yeah.
I think a lot of that's come about because, and like I said, I think this falls more so with the older generation of women. A lot of older women who were probably targeting their age, their age group, men, saying, hey, you know, we ain't gonna do this no more. We're tired of doing this. We're tired of being all this and then this and this, and you can't even do this. And I think a lot of the younger generation of men have kind of came up on them videos and seen women complaining about that, and they've kind of read into it too much, and they've kind of gotten this wrong idea that women just want to use them for their money, and all they want to do is be laid up in the house and be lazy and do nothing to be taken care of. And it's like, no, I think those women were just looking for equality.
Yep.
And you're really showing your chauvinism and sexism by saying that a woman should do all this, that, and the other. But here you are not doing anything, and also probably looking like who did it and why. You know what I'm saying?
Also, men can't say that the majority of women are going after them for their money because most men are broke.
Yet they ain't in that top 1%.
They are not.
I know. Like what money?
Right.
A lot of women actually nowadays, they make good money. Women now more than ever they are making really good money. I'm sure there's still some majority men, areas where men excel more, like at physical labor, of course, or they know more about construction or things like that they're, they're more prevalent in. Of course, they're making more money because how many dudes are you going to see doing hair and nails? You know what I'm saying? There's going to be more women doing that. And of course, guess what? They're probably going to be better at it if a random guy just said, hey, I think I want to be a nail tech. Well, he better be real extra good at it.
Right.
Because it's dominated by women. Women just perform naturally at those things better. And vice versa, men have those things as well. But women have been stepping up and making a lot more money. So women don't really need men as much as we used to in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, you know? Before we could have our own bank account. Nothing's stopping us now from having a bank account. We can do it.
Chase that bag.
Yeah.
Chase it.
Yeah. You ain't in the top 1%, sir. We're talking.
Another thing that I feel like is a good point to bring up is, and maybe I'm old school. Maybe
you're too young to be old school.
Maybe it was how I was raised, more than likely.
Probably.
That, or it's just my mindset and my standards. But it really aggravates me whenever women and men have in their mindset that they have to dress a certain way in order to attract the opposite sex. I'm sorry. God. When I go into the grocery store, I'm tired of seeing booty cheeks hanging out. I'm tired of seeing basically women's full boobs hanging out, and the only thing that's being covered is their nipples.
That's a lack of...
What happened to modesty?
Yeah, that's a lack of self-respect. I mean, women want to say that they dress like that because they like it or it's comfortable, but in reality, that is... I'm sorry, I'm a woman. I know how women think. I verified it with other women too. Women know what they're doing when they throw on that mini skirt and that tube top. Women know exactly what they're doing. They want to be looked at by the opposite sex and seen as being attractive, especially sexually attractive, because that just goes all the way back to the caveman days where, survival of the fittest.
Yep.
That's why women feel threatened by another attractive woman. And I'm going to bring another different take to that.
Okay.
I feel like, and this is just my opinion, and this might feel like a put down. No hate. Not throwing shade. Well, actually, I am.
All right.
If you have to dress like a slut to get attention, that means you really aren't attractive.
Yep.
And that's sad that you feel like you have to dress that way in order to compete with the more attractive women.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really feel like that's kind of what's been going on. Because if you notice, especially like probably about 20 years ago, more attractive women, like really beautiful women. I'm not talking about just, oh, she's cute. I'm talking about like really beautiful women. They kind of kept them, they knew that they were, they were worth. They knew their self-worth. They might have dressed classy and sexy, but you didn't see them looking like they're standing on the corner of 5th and 1st. You see what I'm saying? They didn't look that way because they respected themselves and they held themselves to a standard because they wanted to attract the good men that were going to treat them well. You dress for what you want to attract. That's just how it is. It is.
If you're going to dress like a hooker, you're going to be treated like a hooker.
That's right. You're going to attract old Jimmy Bob from down the road. He might look good, but he's going to treat you like trailer trash because you're looking like you came out the trailer park too. Dressing like that. Yeah, Herbert the pervert. That's right. if you out here looking like you slutting around, guess what? The guys you're going to attract are going to be the same guys, the ones that are slutting around. And that's what it is. And then you want to dress that way and be like, oh, I want this guy to treat me good. But, well, you're not looking faithful. You're not dressing like a faithful person would. Yep. Because a faithful person would say, well, I don't want my husband or my boyfriend to think that I'm trying to attract more people. I mean, what do you do? What do you do when you want somebody to buy something? You put it on this beautiful little table, you set it right out front, and you put all this glitter around it, and you make it look more shiny and more attractive. You dress it up and set it apart from everything else. That's what you're doing with your body when you do that. When you choose to dress that way, you're showing what's gonna get you what you want.
Yep.
And the attractive women, they didn't resort to that. They didn't have to. Because they were pretty. And they didn't have to show off their body because their face was enough.
And see, to go off of that, I feel like in certain men's mindsets is if they end up meeting a woman and she's putting her body on display almost 24/7, whenever their woman starts dressing a little bit down, that's whenever men are going to complain about, well, what happened to you dressing like this, dressing like that? Now you just look like a hobo.
That just, to me, shows where he's coming from. And that just shows that he's not a good person. Because why would you want me to dress in such a way that is going to attract the attention of other men? Unless everybody's got their own thing. Some people get into that stuff. Some people like, hey, I like my girl to look good. I want other men to look at what I got and want it too. Mm-hmm. Some people get off on that stuff. They like it. That's their niche. That's what they like. Yeah. But, another side of that is I've heard a lot of men on, like you say, TikTok and YouTube, where they're complaining about these women dressing like hoes at the gym and everywhere. And I agree. Women, it's getting out of hand. Cover yourself up. I don't want to see your booty cheek brush past the Brussels sprouts that I'm thinking about buying because you got everything hanging out. Mm-hmm. It's nasty. I don't want to see it. I don't care how good your body looks. It don't matter. At this point, it ain't about good bodies versus bad bodies. We're just tired of seeing it all the time. And I can't walk around with my hands in front of my eyes or I'm going to walk into stuff. You're forcing us to see you. You are forcing your nakedness upon others who do not wish to see it because we still got to function with our eyes. We got to see where we're going. We got to see what we're buying. And you're right there. I don't want to see it. Yep. People, we need dress codes again. For real. But if men would stop entertaining. Here's how you make it stop, men. This is how you make it stop those who are complaining about it. Stop giving those women that attention and they will stop. I promise you. Mm-hmm. Women are going to stop doing it because they're going to notice, hey, when I dress like a hoe, I don't get attention from men. If I dress like that classy woman, I'm going to get attention. That's what they're looking at now. I guarantee you women will go right back to that because women can say what they want, but they want attention from men just like men want attention from women. That's why they walk around with their shirts off, peacocking out in public. That's what that is.
To piggyback off of that, in a way, that has kind of been tested. And I say that because I decided to go to a local bar to hang out with one of my friends quite a couple times. And she normally wears, the short shorts and the crop tops, or she decides to wear like a V-neck, trying to show off, her chest and all that. Yeah, and
she's a lot more smaller and petite.
And here I am. I'm wearing my I'm wearing jeans and a t-shirt. That is what I'm wearing. I am wearing my bootcut jeans and a t-shirt. Mm-hmm. I'm just there to play pool and I'm there to drink. That's it.
Yeah, have a good time.
I've been more approached by, and I have a resting bitch face every single time I go in there.
That's inherited. I have that.
Unapproachable. I get more approached by men for me minding my own business than for my friend who is more outgoing, who's more bubbly, dressing like that.
Yeah.
Who's trying to put herself out there.
Yeah. Because
it's been tested.
Because men don't want to throw their hot dog down every sewer pipe that's been available to everybody. And they know that. They can tell. I'm sorry, women. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. It don't matter how good you look. Men are going to know by the way you're dressed and what kind of lifestyle you live. And they're going to know how sexually active you are by what you're wearing.
Yep.
And dudes that are looking not to catch something.
Yep.
they're going to target the ones that have a little bit more morals and self-respect, because they're going to be like, okay, this girl, she's harder to get. That's another thing too. Guys like a chase, and if you already throwing it in her face, you ain't nothing. They're just going to, you just going to be the girl that he uses for one night and throws away. Yep. That's usually what it is. But if you got the chase and you look harder to get, that's what they want. And like, you ain't just giving it out to everybody and anybody. And when you have more reservation in your dress code, that's what that signals to men. It's just, that's what it is.
I guarantee you, if more women started dressing more professional, they would get well-to-do men. They would get men that do have morals and that do have standards.
Yeah.
Reaching out to them. Now, I'm sure they'll do it with like a couple bums every now and then, but whenever you start having your own morals and your own standards for yourself, that's whenever other people are going to take a look at that and be like, okay, I respect that. Yeah. I want to pursue that.
Well, I mean, I listen to and I don't agree with everything she says. I do feel like she's bitter on some things, but I listen to another podcaster. Well, she's not a podcaster. Well, maybe she is. And I don't know if I can say a name on here or not. I don't think so, but everybody knows her, and her last name rhymes with Heaven. Something Heaven. Okay, that's not it, but she's an older black lady, and she really does give some. She don't cut the corners, and she is telling the truth. If you want to attract an older man with money, and you're tired of that kind of life, you can't dress like an old 2-bit hoe. You can't. You got to hold yourself respectable, because that's what they want. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for someone that's going to make them look good. Not like the prostitute that they hired for fun time after the ball or the gala or whatever it is they went to, the function. They want someone that looks respectable. Why do you think Melania dresses the way she does? I mean, because she makes him look good too. That's what he was looking for. He ain't gonna walk around with somebody looking like Nicki Minaj or Cardi B. He ain't gonna do it. He might have fun with that, in the darkness where nobody knows. But if you want to be put on show too and respected equally, then that's the name of the game. You got to respect yourself too.
Honestly, to go even further with that, there's some women that still, in which I understand where they're coming from. You know, they say society does play a big part, in which it does. But my thing is most women choose to dress like that because they're looking at the wrong influencers. So they're looking at Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Doja Cat. But
OnlyFans.
What they really need to notice is that these high-end fashion brands, so like Dior, whenever they do their fashion shows, they're not dressed like that, and they get way more respect from anyone that they work along with. Yeah. Anyone that they meet. Yep. They need to stop dressing like they're from the Dollar General and start dressing like Dior.
Yeah, like one of my favorite movies, I love that movie, The Devil Wears Prada.
You know they're making the second one, right?
Really?
Yes,
okay, I want to see that. But yeah, like the way she dressed, very professional. And she held herself, I mean, was she a little bit on the bitchy side? Yeah. But aside from that, the way she held herself, you know, you're gonna respect that, because she's not just some floozy that just, hey guys, yeah, you know, and let's go have fun. We're boobies out, flopping around in your face, and no, she fits in with the respectable people. She fits in at the business table. When you're over here looking like the secretary, like the one that got caught, you know, the head of HR at the Coldplay concert.
There is a fine line between classy, sassy, and trashy.
I know that's right. Yes, there is.
A lot of women and men, because there's some men that just dress pretty badly too. But you see it mostly in women.
They dress down. They don't care. Not that they don't love themselves, but they just don't care how others perceive them or see them.
I guarantee you, if the majority of men started taking better care of themselves and putting on a decent outfit, they'll not only feel 10 times better, but they'll start getting a little bit more attention.
Probably respectable attention, too.
Yep.
People would take you more seriously. Like, who are you going to take more serious, usually? The guy who's talking to you wearing, looks well put together, like maybe a business suit, or the guy that looks like he just rolled in off the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking all, hey, man, sup, man? You know,
Right.
not saying he's less intelligent. It's just that you're going to think this other guy, he's got it together more. He probably knows more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what is that called? When you judge somebody without really knowing. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of it now.
Well, I'm already a couple drinks in, so I can't.
It's like targeting people kind of based off of how they look or they act.
They're just being judgmental. Stereotype.
Yeah, stereotyping. Yeah, stereotyping people. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It happens though. It really does.
Yep.
I mean,
It really does.
I mean, honestly, it's the same way with like cops and stuff. Cops do that because they know if you're acting a certain way and you're in a certain area that you don't normally see this activity in, that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Profiling. That's what I'm thinking about. Profiling. It happens naturally. Everyone does it whether they realize it or not. Everyone's profiling everybody.
Yep.
It's a natural. It's the brain's it download. It's what it does. It assesses information constantly, and that's what's happening. Whether you want to admit to it or not, everyone is profiling.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, sadly to say, you think about, oh, so-and-so got robbed the other day. You're thinking, I wonder who that is. Or you hear about some old person some old man at the park got caught trying to get these kids, and I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're already thinking, well, I wonder what that guy looked like. You already knowing.
Yep.
Like, you already knowing and stereotyping, and it's nothing to be anything racial or anything, but that's just the way it is.
You have to go based off of statistics as well.
Because I hear about the
Yep.
Herbert the pervert at the park. I'm thinking it's an old white man immediately. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm not trying to be racial here. I'm just trying to be for real. Absolutely. It's just what happens.
Yep.
You think about somebody going to the store stealing a bunch of, perfumes and hair products. That's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what, ain't no dude going in there doing that. That's profiling. Guess what? That's profiling. And everybody does it. Everybody does it.
I wish a lot more people would profile themselves instead of other people.
That's it right there. Profile yourself and make sure you meet your standard. Mm-hmm. Don't hold double standards for other people that you don't even hold for yourself. If people would hold themselves to the same standard they judge others by, then you know what? Wouldn't be I deserve this and I deserve that and you ain't enough. I deserve better. Wouldn't be like that. It wouldn't.
I think society over time has definitely gotten so much worse, and a lot of people just don't have any common sense anymore. They really don't put any thought into what they're doing, what they're saying, what they're wearing. And I feel like essentially a lot of people end up screwing themselves over.
Yeah. And how they're treated.
They want to put the blame on other people for how they are being treated.
No,
well, it's like...
You dress for the attention you want and you seek. If you don't want people to treat you like you're an idiot, don't walk around with 2 left shoes on.
I have always heard whenever you go to the airport, dress decent because you never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
Why can't you take that mindset and put it towards going to the grocery store, going to a library?
Yeah.
As simple as a library. There's children walking around in a library.
There should be dress codes. I firmly believe in some dress codes. Absolutely. Well,
this is a lot to dissect, a lot to discuss, but this was our very first topic of Girl Talk.
We could probably have another discussion about this at a later date.
Oh, yeah. But, thank you guys for joining in and listening to Stuff and Things.
Get fucked.